Everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Today I am excited to finally get started on my reaction and analysis series on Take Me Back to Eden. So the last video I did, we finished up This Place Will Become Your Tomb. And now that we've got the trilogy of Sundowning, This Place Will Become Your Tomb, and Take Me Back to Eden, we've got all three albums. I like to think that Chokehold here, while it is the first song of the album, it is also the song that follows up Missing Limb. So I'll be looking at it that way as we analyze it. So I think we should just go ahead and hop right into it. All right, let's go. A crazy ambient beginning here.
When we were made, it was no accident. We were tangled up like branches in a flood.
I hate to stop so early, but there is something that I actually hadn't noticed before. In the background, obviously we've got this, I don't know if it's a heavily distorted guitar or if it's some kind of synth thing going on. In the background, I kind of hear these birds chirping. And we've got this imagery here where things are really dark, and we've got what looks like, to me, is like a sunrise almost. So that's kind of the imagery I'm getting. There's this really dark synthy stuff going on with these really light elements that in the visuals and the birds chirping. That's super interesting. And of course, this is ominous, right? Seeing the axe kind of peek over the horizon here. That's pretty cool. This was definitely one of the coolest moments to me of the year, is when this drops, knowing that we're getting more Sleep Token. This looks awesome. So.
Branches in a flood. I come as a blade, a sacred guardian. So you keep me sharp and test my worth in blood.
Some of the best sounding vocals the vessel's ever done. We're rising out of the water here. You can see it falling off. Oh yeah.
You got me in a chokehold.
I know we're about to get into something here, but like, man, just the storytelling in Vessel's vocals is just so great. You can hear him just like, he's saying Chokehold, but he's not just singing the notes. You can hear his voice just kind of clench up, almost like he's being choked. It's just, man, it's so good. It's so good. Right here. Man, what an intro here. I can't tell you how much I love, like, we've got the obviously the crazy distorted guitars coming in, whatever tuning this is, really low, but part of Sleep Token sound that really does it for me is like there's that piano over top, like there's piano melody over top of these just booming guitars. Um, I want to talk a little bit about our character here. So each song on the album has kind of an avatar, if you want to think of it that way. I think it's really interesting that this one, I kind of picked up on the idea of like a sunrise. We heard the birds kind of chirping, and this dude's face kind of looks like it's supposed to be like a sun. Um, kind of, and the attention to detail on whoever did this visualizer of like this creature, it seems like they're coming out of the depths, the things that are growing on the back of this dude kind of look like barnacles, but they're like skulls. I think all of that obviously is kind of harkening back to this place will become your tomb, all the water imagery that we're getting out of this. And we have obviously, I believe all of the figurines have some kind of weapon, which will be very interesting to kind of see how that plays into how the album is going to play out.
Beneath the stormy seas, above the mountain peaks, it's all the same to me. It makes no difference.
I really like the little shuffle here the drummer's doing.
Unfold and the impossible. I've turned my walls to gold to bring you home again. So show me that which I cannot see, even if it hurts me, even if I can't sleep.
Just pulling on the heartstrings, God.
Act out of a holy duty to be constantly
Oh yeah. I'm gonna stop here for just a second because I want to once again talk about their songwriting structure and why it's so good. So you may not really have noticed it too much, but I'm pretty sure that the weird, really distorted synthy stuff at the start is the exact same rhythm and notes as the what you would call the chorus guitar part right here. That offbeat kind of like genty sounding thing that they're doing. So they prime us for it. They hint at this big chorus here. The first time he says, "You've got me in a chokehold," right? But we go into just instrumental riffage, and now they've brought it all together into this massive, massive chorus here, where Vessel starts to repeat Chokehold again, right? But he's like adding on to it each time. It's just the way that they bring this all together. It's not like the most, I guess, progressive song structure you could have, right? Because it kind of hints at everything that's coming. It's almost predictable, but it's in that predictability that we get like this kind of catharsis when we get here, because it's all things we've heard before, but now it's like, okay, I wanted the full out version of that chorus, and now we get it. So it's not always about doing weird song structures. Sometimes even that predictability can breed these huge moments for your audience. And I think Sleep Token has done that well in this track. So I'll back up a little bit so we can hear it.
Show
Man, what a note there at the end he hits. That's incredible. Just the control there and the way that he lets the note kind of transform and then he falls off of it into this like exhale. Man. And even talking about the imagery here is pretty powerful. The idea of this faceless being here just like crying while raising up the axe while he says, even if it hurts me, this just, even from, like, I know this is not like a music video like we normally see, but like what's being portrayed here is super interesting what they did with as minimal moving parts as it has. It's just kind of this figure that's rising up, and we've got little things that happen here, but man, incredible. Like I said, this was probably one of the hypest moments of 2023 for me, was seeing this come out, because this is how you start an album. You let it build up, and then you just give it all you got on the vocals. Like, this is an incredible vocal performance by Vessel, and the drummer's always crazy as well. Like, I mentioned it, but the little shuffle that happens in verse 2 is just a lot of fun. He's got so many little hits in there, man. What a fun time. So, as usual, I do have the lyrics pulled up here. And it's kind of interesting because we get kind of these cinematic moments where you, in the music video, that align with the lyrics a lot. Like it says, when we were made, it was no accident. We were tangled up like branches in a flood. I come as a blade, a sacred guardian, so you keep me sharp and test my worth in blood. And while this is being sung, we just see that blade come up over the horizon. We see this dude come out of the depths, and the water's like rolling off of him. So a lot of these words kind of end up being mentioned, as the imagery kind of helps to bring it along, right? And of course, you've got you've got me in a chokehold. That speaks for itself, right? So we get, once again, the kind of tie-in with this place will become your tomb beneath the stormy seas. Above the mountain peaks is interesting, because it kind of talks to the complete opposite of what we experienced last album. And he says, it's all the same to me, it makes no difference. I've seen my days unfold, done the impossible. I'll turn my walls to gold to bring you home again. Now, this is a little bit cryptic of what's going on here, right? What is this fighting that needs to be done? I'm still not 100% sure. I get the vibe of the song, and I think it's completely wrapped up in this part. This, like, I don't know if you call it a bridge or pre-chorus, but it says, show me that which I cannot see, even if it hurts me, even if I can't sleep. And though we act out of our holy duty to be constantly awake. And this, I think, is going to help me kind of hone in on, okay, what's going on here with this album? Because with Sleep Token, if they're talking about waking and sleeping, it's never just, hey, I took a nap, right? It's something more deep than that. And here, I think the thesis statement for the song is, I'm going to have to start fighting, right? And I mentioned this in my Missing Limbs analysis, where I interpreted that song as Vessel having a part of him that has given up, but a part of him that is biding its time, waiting for a moment to strike. And I think Chokehold is that moment. Chokehold is realizing that sleep itself is not good for him. He needs to be awake, constantly awake, or else he's going to die. And I think that's what we're getting with this imagery of rising up, right? The sunrise coming up, the imagery of all of the weapons. This is going to be kind of a violent awakening, right? I have more evidence for that as we kind of go on, that as that being like what I'm thinking is going on with this album. But this is a very good intro. It brings us into the feel for the album. which is immediately not as dark, I guess, as This Place Will Become Your Tomb. It would be hard to be darker than that album for sure. But here I think that we're getting a little bit of fight in Vessel. So we'll see how this develops as the album goes on. But that's all I have to say about Chokehold for now. Incredible song, one of the best album openers I've ever heard. Just hits all the right notes for me personally. Classic Sleep Token song and incorporating all these elements seamlessly. So next time I will go on to the next song, The Summoning. If you know anything about Sleep Token, I'm sure you've already heard it, but I'll have some stuff to say about it. Maybe go a little bit deeper into what makes it such an interesting song, but I'll see you then.